Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday today. It's 9:30 and welcome to Quest Bites. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Heather and we'll give a few minutes here to let people log on and join us for Quest Bites this morning. We have kind of an interesting topic today. It's talking about careers and more in particular engineering, why I chose engineering and how you can choose engineering as well, and kind of different um, techniques to choosing the right career for you. And so good morning, Chantel. um, but just deciding on what you want to do with your life, and especially now, I think we have lots of time to think about it, and it's a great opportunity for us to kind of spend some time doing some self-reflection and things like that. So a good opportunity for us to decide what it is we want to spend our life doing. So just give a few more minutes here. If you're here, give a hi, Brinley and Cadence and Grant. Good to chat with you. Hope you guys enjoy today. What have you been up to? Have y'all been gardening, or what have y'all been doing keeping busy? Mom got you doing housework? I know I have to do housework, so chores never end, I reckon. So a few more minutes here. Something interesting that I experienced yesterday. My husband and I live out on some land here in North Idaho, and I was about 20 feet from a moose, not yesterday, but on Easter. And I've never been that close to a moose before in my life. And I gotta say, I don't know if I want to be that close again to a moose. So I ran inside very quickly, and uh, I don't ever want to experience that again. It was really cool, but I have no shame in saying I lost my cool and took off running, screaming. Good morning, Amy. How are you? So anyway, well, I guess we should, kind of jump right into it. What you see is right behind me is my PowerPoint here. Again, my name is Heather O'Kelly, and I am an application engineer here at Quest Integration. And what I wanted to talk to you about is how I got started in engineering, why I chose engineering, and kind of what it is, what I do here at Quest Integration, what a lot of us applications engineers do here at Quest Integration as well. So, application engineer, the title, I think it's a pretty broad term. It's as simple as saying, engineer as a whole. You don't necessarily know what engineers do on a daily basis. It's sort of like a doctor. What does a doctor do? Well, a cardiothoracic doctor will do something different than a general practitioner does. Or an operations manager, just like Mallory is, will do something different than an engineering manager will do. So kind of a broad term is, at Quest Integration, we help people be successful in both the manufacturing and the design world, and training, things like that. Namely, for me, I do a lot of tech support. So on a day-to-day basis, I get to speak to all kinds of people, designers, engineers, owners of companies, and I get to help them through their questions and their problems that they're having with several different types of software, namely SolidWorks and SolidWorks Electrical and e-drawings and things like that that fall under what's called the Dassault umbrella. We also do 3D printing. So I'll show you here. Right here up on the top right corner is an example of a couple of our printers. We do have some larger printers, some smaller printers, which is kind of what you're seeing here, our building. And then on a day-to-day basis, I get to play in SolidWorks, and I get to kind of hone in my design skills. And what you're looking at there is a screenshot of a garden bed that I will be making very shortly here. And I'm going to plant some either vegetables or flowers. I'm not quite sure. What, but kind of leads me to my next page of how did I become an engineer? Two things, main things. A lot of school and a lot of math. So let me speak to that really quick. When I was growing up, I grew up in a town of one stoplight and 3,000 people on an island. The majority of what I did on a daily basis was sports because that's what we had to do. We didn't have, I think we had dial up internet um, a few years after we got there, and um, we were more concerned with sports and playing outside and chopping wood and whatever else was normal day-to-day life, gardening and things like that, because that was what we did, and that was the lifestyle that we led. So all that to say, I cannot stress enough how much I hated math. I hated math with the firing passion of 1,000 suns. And now I'm showing you an example of what type of math engineers do, physics and calculus. And I say this because I hated math until I realized there was a purpose for it. All that to say, when I went to school and I learned that there's an explanation for why airplanes fly, and it's easily explained with physics and math, then my whole world kind of opened up and I was like, oh, now I understand the purpose for all of these numbers and why we do this on a daily basis. I mean, I'm telling you, my favorite subject in school was recess and lunch. So if anyone heard that I was going to be an engineer later in life, they probably would have pointed and laughed at me. But here I am working for Quest Integration and really enjoying my job. So how did I become an engineer? I took lots of school and did lots of math. These next two photos I show you because the different things that I've done in life have led me to be an engineer here. This is not my first career. My first career was firefighting. I worked for my dad as a construction worker for him for a little while, and then I went into aviation later. But that picture on the left was several years ago. That's my sister and I helping my dad build their home. They had a log home on Whidbey Island, and I kind of show you that because I was always really hands-on, right? We grew up building things, and one of the traditions in our family was to build a Christmas gift for the other sibling, just my sister and I in terms of kids in the family. And so we'd go out to the shop with my dad and we'd build something for one another. So I brought an example that I still have. I'm 32 and I still have this and I treasure it very much. This is my baby doll high chair that my sister made. It's fully functional. It is made out of all wood. She made it with my dad, and I don't know. I think it would take a lot of work for me to break this thing, so it's pretty durable and very wonderful. And my baby dolls still fit in it, although I don't know if I have too many more. I think I've given most of those away, but that's what this looks like here, and it's kind of just an example of what I grew up doing. I still have, I mean, the majority of the furniture in our house has been built by someone in our family. So we were always hands-on in creating and things like that. And that is something that I still to this day love to do. So that kind of led me into engineering, and I knew that I was going to be able to be creative in this field. The picture on the right is myself and another firefighter. I did volunteer firefighting and thought that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, but I chose to kind of go a different direction for several reasons. But what that has taught me in firefighting is a different, it's taught me loyalty, and it's given me a heart for a team member that is, I want to do anything for my team. I want to do anything that I can to be a valuable member to my team, right? Including anything. I mean, sacrifice anything, right? And I think that's really important in what we decide to do with our life. If we want to work alone or if we want to work on a team, we have to develop either side of those skills, right? So the next thing that I did, I looked at myself and I said, what do you like doing on a daily basis? Because I was working at a coffee shop and I was a volunteer firefighter. And I thought to myself, well, what do you love doing? Oh, I love being at the airport and flying. And so I went to school to be a commercial pilot, and I became a commercial pilot. And what you're seeing there is um, this picture here on the left is of my friend and I, Liz Jones, and her airplane. This is an experimental airplane. We flew this from Idaho to actually coast to coast, um, from the Oregon coast to the Floridian coast down in Florida, and dropped it off there so they could use it with their business down there. And that was an incredible experience that I'll never forget. And it was wonderful. The one in the center here, I became a certified flight instructor because I wanted to be able to make some money and earn some hours. And what you're seeing here is some training that we were doing inside an airplane called a Citabria, which is just a little bitty airplane. And so I got to do all kinds of really great stuff like that. And what you're seeing here, if you can't tell, that's the horizon. We have all, don't worry, we have all the proper equipment in here to make it legal. But this is the horizon here. So that's the land, right? And this is the sky. So if you were to turn your head a little bit to the right, just like this, and look at the picture, that's actually how it looks, right? So the ground would be below you here. And then I'm not sure if you can see my cursor or not, but and then the sky up above you. And then this picture on the right is of myself and a couple other gals from the 99s, which is an all-women pilot organization started by Amelia Earhart and a couple other gals. So lots of great memories there. And I pull up this video here. I'm going to show you what this is. This is what's called spin training. This is me, like I said, going through training to be a certified flight instructor. And what you have to do is you have to make sure that you can recover the airplane in all types of positions that it's in. So what we've done is we've put it into an intentional stall or a spin. So basically made it so the airplane no longer wants to fly, right? So what's happening there is it doesn't have enough air over its wings to fly anymore. That's kind of the basics of how it all works. You recover it within 3 spins, and there's several different techniques and things like that, but that's some of the fun things we can do. So basically, if you're looking at it from the outside, you go up like this, and then down just like this, and then spin all the way around, pointing right at the ground until you're spinning down toward the ground, and then you can recover out of that as a flight instructor. And that's one of the main things we need to do to make sure that we maintain safety in our flying. So why engineering? Passion, the opportunity, and the ability to serve others. Those are the main 3 reasons why I became an engineer. Okay, so my passion, one of the things that we do, one of the main things that we do here is we have an excellent team across the board. One of the things that we do is we facilitate training, and we put on training for all of our clients that are interested in learning how to use SolidWorks, 3D printers, 3D scanners, different aspects, different types of SolidWorks, right, under that umbrella. We put on those kinds of trainings. So while I might not be flying on a daily basis anymore, I still get to teach. And that's the passion that's within me that I care so much about, as I want people to learn however it is that they learn. And I want them to realize that there literally is nothing stopping them from being successful in whatever it is that they want to do. And so that's what I want to stress for you today. The day that I realized that what my parents told me, that I could do anything in the world, the day that I actually realized that was true, my whole world opened up. I still believe to this day, I'm 32 years old, okay? So I'm not super young, but I still believe to this day, if I wanted to, I could become a doctor. If I wanted to this day, I could become an astronaut. If I wanted to this day, I could do whatever it is that I want to do. Right now, what do I want to do? I want to be an awesome team member at Quest Integration, and I want to be the best engineer that I possibly can be. I want to serve people, I want to teach people, and I want to capitalize on the opportunity to work for such a great company and a great team. That's what I want to do. The ability to serve others, you wouldn't necessarily think, because I think when we hear serve, we think passing out water bottles and doing whatever it is that are really community service type things. The ability to serve others is just helping someone. And when someone calls in with a tech support call for us or whatnot, that's what I'm doing. That's what all of us are doing, right? Anytime we get the chance to, if you and your mom are at the grocery store and you see somebody that is loading up a cart full of stuff into their car, it doesn't take anything at all for you to just walk over and say, "Hey, can I help you really quickly?" While they might be shocked, they'll probably be very appreciative of the fast load that time that you just saved them. So there's opportunities everywhere, and in engineering, they are all over. It's not just building bridges and airplanes and roads. It's also changing people's lives on a daily basis simply because we're there to help on a daily basis. So, kind of a all of it's very 30,000-foot view today, but I hope that you just remember that you can do whatever you want to do, right? That sounds very cliche, but don't forget that if you want to do something with your life, there is literally nothing stopping you. I knew that when I went to school to be an engineer, there was literally nothing that was going to stop me from doing that. It took me 2 extra years to finish my engineering degree because I went back to school. I got married in the middle of school. It took me a long time. I wasn't good at math, right? I wasn't good at any of this stuff, quote. Well, here I am, a successful engineer. I enjoy what I do. But that was partly because I didn't want to quit. I couldn't take no for an answer, and I wasn't going to fail out. I wasn't going to accept nothing. I had to finish, right? So be encouraged. Whatever it is that you're willing to do, if you had to pay to do something every day, whatever it is, that's what you should be doing. Okay? Whatever you're passionate about, do that for the rest of your life. Thanks for joining me today. Tomorrow you have kind of on the same avenue, you're going to make some paper airplane launchers. So make sure you tune in and join us tomorrow. If you have any questions at all, you can email us or leave a comment here at any time. So thanks for joining me, guys. Bye.